What up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And we're joined alongside Darnell from Powerhandz. And we had the pleasure of meeting him at the WBC convention and getting a little bit of the backstory, because for us, we really only knew Powerhandz because of Andre Ward, but it was really amazing how that story came about. So before you jump into there, let everybody know, obviously, a little bit about yourself and how you, I guess, started Powerhandz, really.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and congrats, man. You guys have done an amazing job, and the studio is amazing. So, first of all, thank you for having me. But yeah, Powerhandz, man, we founded Powerhandz in 2014, and really was based on a MacGyver-like training method I was using for basketball specifically, where I would put gardening gloves on my hands and ankle weights on my wrists. So it made dribbling the ball far more difficult when you were training versus when you were playing. So I did that for years and years, and eventually started training NBA guys, college guys, and the feedback was amazing. So I was like, let me make this an actual product. Let me put the weight in the hands. You know, you think of all the workouts you do, squats, bench press. What do you do for your hands and how important are your hands, right? You use them every day for almost everything you do. And, man, we formalized it, made it a company in 2014, started off in basketball. And then fortunately, Andre Ward got a glimpse of it on a basketball player and said, hey, I've been shadowboxing with dumbbells for years. It's not natural to hold something. I'd love to incorporate these gloves and help you kind of create that product. And so that was kind of our entry into the boxing market. And obviously with a guy like that, you know, it was amazing to have him, you know, be a partner and be involved in creating that product.
And how quickly after Powerhandz began did Andre Ward reach out?
Man, you know, it was within the first year.
Oh, wow, quick.
Yeah. So our marketing strategy was we didn't have a big budget. So we used influencers, right? So we went after all the big basketball trainers and basketball influencers. And Andre's a big basketball fan, of course. And I remember one night I got an email and it said, hey, this is, you know, my name's Andre Ward, you know, I'm a boxer, you know, world champion, da-da-da. And my first thought was, you know, I've been a boxing fan since I was little, so I thought, yeah, okay, Andre Ward's emailing me about getting involved, and we're less than a year old. So I didn't believe it was him. And we got on the phone the next week, and I mean, you guys have met him. He's just a humble, solid guy, had great conversation. He wanted to understand how it benefited his body, you know, and how he saw it incorporate, yada, yada, yada. So it was fairly quickly after. And then, man, it took off in the boxing space, and it's been amazing. But again, coming out with a guy like that, it's kind of one in a million type guy, you know.
Is it even a fair question to say what's been more beneficial for you as a company, basketball or boxing? Because boxing is such a niche sport. Or could you surprise us with the answer?
Yeah, here's what I would say. I think boxing probably took off faster in terms of people around the sport knowing our products and us seeing different fighters, right? Seeing a Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, guys like that using our product, and we've never met them or worked with them or have any partnerships, and they're using our product, and it's like, wow, we're getting superstars to do this, you know, in the first 6 months we're in business, or at least in the boxing business. Basketball still is such a big sport, right? I mean, 30, 40 million kids that play basketball. It's a hard market to beat. Obviously, it's a global market. So we probably, I'd say the mix is probably more 70-30 when it comes to basketball boxing. But, you know, the boxing space, I mean, it's a passion of mine outside of basketball. So I love being in it.
Do you have more success, you think, with like college and high schools, or is the professionals, obviously because of the money, is where the money's at?
You know what, from a marketing perspective, we had to use the influential voices and names to gain credibility and have a validation for the product. But the market we serve and what we want to attack is the kids that play that are not, they don't have to be the elite kids. They could be the kids just learning how to play, that are just trying to develop their skills. Of course, we want the elite kids. Of course, we want the pros. But it was how do we get these young guys going? And so the bigger, broader market is the basic, you know, high school, junior high school.
It's so crazy. When I had hoop dreams many years ago, and I thought I was going to be in the NBA.
How many years ago was that, champ?
It's so many years. Listen, so many years. This story is sad because, you know, the marketing used to attract me to these particular shoes to build my calves to dunk. Remember those?
Jump sole.
What were they called? Strength shoes?
Strength shoes. Yep.
Bro, it's on eBay, and eBay closing their doors.
No, they done.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, New Year's Eve, that was it.
Well, there you go,
bro.
So that's what I mean. It's like I found those shoes through a magazine that, like, I don't even know how I got eBay magazine.
Bro, and people don't understand, like, my little brother doesn't know what eBay is. I feel like I barely know what eBay, like, I call, you know, the end of the fire in eBay. You could still get retros on eBay when I was
I say all that to say, to go back to like the basically moving units. Like, I feel like coaches were putting that information in our hands. Like, yo, get these shoes. How do I get them? On this magazine. So that's why I'm asking, are you attempting to reach out to, like, I don't know, the districts or to get involved in the curriculum so that it could just be instilled in school? Because that's where it starts. You know, when I was playing ball, we doing summer leagues outside of just high school ball. Like, you got to stay good throughout the year.
I'm sure with you, probably AAU, right? AAU would probably be the best route for you, right?
AAU's huge, man. AAU, any of the youth sports are amazing. I mean, they're huge. But yeah, like you say, you know, the days of East Bay Magazine, I mean, that's how we ordered stuff, right?
Yeah.
You had to wait 6 weeks to get the shoes that you ordered, so you had to order them way before the season started. But yeah, it's sad to see them go. Yeah, for us, it's been direct to consumer. You know, going through the coaches is a little more difficult because our product really can't be interchanged. For instance, you know, if you buy your team one kid gets one pair of gloves and he essentially uses those. You wouldn't want to have him using them and another kid using them and another kid using them just because obviously sweat and what have you. So ours has been really more direct to consumer. Of course, we do work with coaches, and the bulk buys and things like that, you know, are amazing. But ours has been primarily direct to consumer. Amazon, you know, our website, you know, what have you.
For sure.
Now, I gotta ask. I saw you guys had that huge collaboration with LaMelo, which, you know, when you talk about the NBA and basketball, he's one of the hottest names in the sport. How did that come about? And is there a like a dream collab that you have per se?
Yeah, so man, Melo had been using our products, I think, since high school. He had been using them for quite a while, which was just another testament to the way we were able to get it out the way we did, you know, back in 2014, 2015. But we made contact with his manager, Jermaine Jackson, who former NBA player as well, and they just bought into the vision. They bought into where we were going as a minority-owned company and the brand we'd established, you know, the credibility we established, and you know, obviously Melo believed in the product. So for us, that was like a dream collab in the basketball space because I say it all the time, and I guess it's debatable, but I think he's probably the most skilled basketball player in the NBA. If you think of dribbling, shooting, scoring in and out, passing, rebounding, defense, I mean, he might be the most skilled player in the NBA, in my opinion. So with us having skill development products, having a guy like that, especially so early in his career, was an amazing partnership. So it's been great. And we do have a collab with him called the One Ball Collection. He's the one of one. That's his phrase. So we have the One Ball Collection, which is the first time we've ever deviated from our black and gold colors, and we did a black and red. He's one of his favorite colors. So that's out now. But a dream collab, man, there's a bunch of folks. The guys like Ryan Garcia, guys like Tank Davis. I mean, they've used our products. We've never, formally, discussed anything. But I think in the boxing space, those would be, really good collabs. Shakur Stevenson. I mean, there's that, especially that weight class. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys, man, bunch.
I want to know more about the suit, man. I got to see it at the WBC convention. Was very impressed because, once in my life, I was doing a lot of calisthenics. So I got that 40-pound vest, but that is very uncomfortable to run with. It was good to do pull-ups to increase my count, but trying to jog with that is just, you bruise your shoulders. Obviously, you gave Shadeja Green one at the WBC convention, and I seen her post it. She's loving it. What's it made of? Is it sand? How much does it weigh? Can you put more weight? Is it just specific weights? Like, tell me all about the suit, because Jared Anderson uses ankle weights. This is probably something, and he's a heavyweight. Like, he's the first heavyweight I've seen using ankle weights. So, like, this is probably something he would be interested in because he wants to be faster than normal heavyweights by using ankle weights. So, just wondering.
Yeah, the power suit came about 3 or 4 years ago. We started working on the power suit, and we saw a space in the market where there was a bunch of weighted vests. And a 40-pound weighted vest, I mean, I had 6 knee surgeries. 40-pound weighted vest, there's a lot of weight that's compressing down on your knees, your hips, your, everything. It's all downward force. And so what we aim to do, and with the patented power suit that we have, it's a 10-pound weighted suit. It utilizes iron sand like our gloves. So it's a rubberized weight. So it wraps around your thigh. There's 2 chest plates, 2 back plates, and it's 10-pound standard. You can't increase the weight. just our gloves. We've kept that weight for a specific reason, and it was we don't want to introduce injury, but we do want to give additional weight. And neurologically, outside of doing something like you know pull-ups or what have you, neurologically your body shuts down when it feels too much weight because it knows it's foreign. So 10 pounds for the whole body is kind of that area where your body will still feel like it's you. Neurologically it feels like it's still you, and you can train and get the benefits, you know, from actual performing the things you do with the weighted suit on. So it's a neoprene. It's like it's a one piece. You know, it's you can wear clothes over it. You can wear clothes under it. And just dip it in water
and it's great. Also, not just obviously you have a huge market in basketball and boxing, but you know football players are using this. Baseball players are using this.
Soccer, yeah.
So, sorry, because I got a text. It's funny. Someone's listening to the show and said, "Yo, I just got a boxing program approved in my school." Member Maestro, aka Amilcar, is a public school teacher in New York City, and it's something that we've been talking about a lot because, right, like in public school, or at least when I was there, we had wrestling. Some of these rich schools, they got fencing. Why can't we get boxing? If we got football in all these schools, why is boxing like this, you know, scary sport if they're allowing wrestling and fencing and all these other things? And, you know, I never understood it, but this teacher just accomplished it. So shout out to Milcar, man, in New York City.
Big time. Awesome.
I feel like it's just such a niche thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like needing the interest. Like we talk about.
But most inner cities do boxing. So if you could at least get them approved in those inner city schools, then they can compete against each other.
Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. There's a lack of judges and referees in the amateur system now at the national level. So now you want it to be in the cities, you know, when we need it on the big level. It's like
we got beautiful people like the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman. I'm sure that he can make his officials, just WBC officials, because each sanctioning body has their own. I'm sure he can make his officials available for public school tournaments and things of that nature. He's got the Sugar Burt tournament, which is WBC. You know, he does a lot, and that's only one sanctioning body. There's other people in this sport that can help with that for sure.
It could be like a feeder development too for those you know officials kind of going into wanting to be professionals like they do in NBA or NFL.
That wasn't my first convention. I remember when I went to the one in Cancun, I met an official, and you know I got to learn about officiating. And you can't just get a title fight. You have to have a certain amount of rounds under your belt, certain amount of regional fights under your belt. So you're right. It can be a place to get these officials some experience that they also need, because that's what's ruining boxing is some of this judging and the lack of officiating. Like if more referees knew how to take a point, we probably won't have situations like Pritchard Cologne. And, you know, if they started using this instant replay like other sports use, we'd probably get the correct results for some of these big fights versus the controversy. But outside of, you know, Powerhandz, were you already a boxing fan?
Man, I've been a boxing fan since I was a kid.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
I think I grew up just, you know, growing up and being a little overweight, not the most athletic kid, and wanting to make sure I wasn't bullied and things like that. I had a good friend of mine, his dad trained boxers, so I started, you know, working out with him and then just fell in love with the sport. So, yeah, growing up watching like Pernell Whitaker and De La Hoya, of course, and Roy Jones. And, I mean, that was a great time for boxing, and I think it's coming back now. I think not that it really left, but I think it's really exciting in a lot of weight divisions right now in the boxing space. So we're really excited. We met in at the WBC convention. We had announced our partnership with the WBC. So together we'll be bringing innovation to the sport. You know, boxing it's an older sport. It's kind of an antiquated in terms of innovation. So outside of the products we have today, the idea is we'll collaborate to incorporate other products, whether it be medical device, healthcare, rehab, training, what have you. So maybe adding a boxing league, high school, you know, junior high school.
That's
boxing
what's
league
needed.
Yo, that's dope. It's funny.
I mean, think about it.
We talked about East Bay, and you were able to get Powerhandz into East Bay right before they.
Yep, because they were owned by Foot Locker. So Foot Locker owned East Bay, or there was some connection. So that's how we got through East Bay. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this conversation is needed on a greater level because boys and girls clubs are gone. Like, yes, some are there, but there used to be dozens in inner cities. Like in my own hometown, they've taken them away. Like Shaq's is still there because he's Shaq. But like most of the Boys and Girls Clubs are gone. That's where most of the boxing was happening, and that's gone. So, yeah, man, it would be amazing if somebody can do it, citywide or statewide, put it into the schools, because it's like you said, we'll be able to, not only would the officials be able to have that feeder shot, but we will too, because it will give us a new crop of fighters. We won't keep losing them to basketball and football.
Yeah, it'd be dope to get a media play around that too. I was talking to a group, man, and I said, growing up, when we grew up, you could watch the Olympics on TV, right? The Olympic boxing was on TV. Nowadays, I mean, to catch it on, you got to catch a streaming device or something. Like, you just don't know the fighters that way,
It's not even as big as it was, though. Like the world stopped back in the day for the Olympic. I don't think. I mean, do they get the same amount of views, or is the World Cup still the biggest thing?
No, I mean, I think, the World Cup's always the biggest thing. But I just think that the last one was so weird because of the pandemic. It wasn't that the same. But boxing, it looks like we're not even going to get it.
Yeah. There's always something new with boxing, and, is it going to be part or not?
As of right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's a no. So for the next two, right?
So I feel like when we were in Acapulco, you said that Dre enjoyed the gloves so much he's part of the company now, right?
Yeah, so Dre's an equity holder. So when he came on board, it's funny because he was kind of on his hiatus at the time. And then he had signed with Rock Nation, and he was coming back for like his first fight. And so Rock Nation reached out probably 2 weeks after he signed and said, hey, we just met with Dre, we just signed him, and one of the first things he said he wants to do is partner with you guys and bring your innovation to the boxing space. And so, Dre's one of those guys, he's very intentional. Like he's not the type of guy to jump into something if he doesn't really believe in it. And so he's the guy that when I get on the phone with him, like he wants to get down to the details of like how we're manufacturing and develop it. He had a really good friend that was a designer at Jordan Brand forever. And this guy, top designer, everything. And he was like, I want you to meet with Jason. His name was Jason Maiden, solid guy. I want you to meet with Jason to go over the design, what we can do with this, and da-da-da. So Dre was very integral in like actually creating that product because it's different than our other gloves. It's more flexible, right? It has more breathability. There's other things that took place. So yeah, he's an equity holder, and we still discuss the business and everything moving forward. So he's been very integral. So
he completely designed the boxing Powerhandz.
Yeah, together, me, Dre, and then my co-founder, who was also my wife, Danielle Sorrenti Jones, we designed the boxing glove.
Which is interesting because you said in one of the conversations, he said it's unnatural to hold something in your hand. I feel like inside the glove, there's a leather strip. Did he have you put anything for them to grip or no?
No. So essentially he was saying like your hands are kind of loose, right? And I don't want to misquote, but your hands are loose kind of until contact versus being clenched, right?
For sure.
So he's saying if you're holding a dumbbell and you're sitting here doing these punching movements, it's unnatural because you're not clenched the whole time you're punching.
Very true.
And so he was saying that, but he also was talking about how you punch at different speeds with different weights. So 2 or 3 pounds, it's okay to punch from an under standpoint, but if you're overhand punching hooks, there's damage that can be done to your shoulders, your elbows, what have you. So with gloves on, especially at 1 pound, 15 minutes, you can punch at all angles, high velocity, right? And the risk of injury is completely reduced. So, yeah, he's been super integral, man. He's been amazing.
Nah, for sure, it is more difficult to do like left hooks with dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's funny because I've seen Johnny Rice in the gym, and that dude uses 10 pounds. 10 pounds each hand. And you were specific in the suit not being a different weight. What about bigger guys or football players? Would it ever change? Would you ever think about changing the weight for linemen or something, right? Like if they want to practice, no?
For the suit, there's been like one-off scenarios where a specific lineman that's a 350-pound, 400-pound lineman wants a different suit. Like we may increase it to 15 pounds or so. But irregardless of 300 pounds or 400 pounds, when you put a specific number of weight over what you're used to carrying, your body doesn't connect it anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So it actually shuts off, and you do more damage than it is good. Weight resistance is fine, but it depends on how you're doing it. If you're jumping, the impact on your knees, depends on how you're using it. If you're doing pull-ups, not a big deal. Step-ups, not a big deal. But we've kept it very standard. We didn't want to introduce injury, but we did want added weight resistance And really the benefit, people think about the gloves and they think about upper body strength or whatever, it actually improves your kinetic chain, which is your core strength, core stability. If you think about balancing yourself with weighted gloves, your core has to stabilize you.
Mm-hmm.
So kicking a soccer ball, you could improve kicking a soccer ball. You could increase your vertical jump. There's all these things that take place with a weighted glove, and it's based on improving the kinetic chain. And there's some studies and things out there that they've actually proven this.
So how long has the company been around?
We launched in 2014, October of 2014. So it's about 7+ years.
And
Who runs the social media?
So we just got a new guy actually.
Okay.
We had a third party group. We just got a new guy, Eric Cornacion. He's a big boxing fan too.
Okay.
And so
Cornacion sounds Puerto Rican.
Filipino, I want to say.
I've seen some humor on a lot of the posts.
Yeah.
I think there was this one where player kept fumbling, nobody could get the ball, and they're like, "See, if you train with Powerhandz, they would have been able to grip the ball." So
yeah, we try to add some levity, and try not to be intentional about like trying to sell people versus like educating and saying, "Here, we're going to educate you on why." But then you got to throw some things and add some levity, so it's not always so like serious about selling a product.
So I gotta ask, man, because speaking of selling, have you had the conversation with Dre to be more? I mean, I feel like because people respect him a lot. I feel like if he maybe chose certain fighters or just went to certain places, he could maybe move a lot of units. Is that just not his thing? He wants to be in the back. Have you had that conversation? Do you care if he takes a bigger role to sell more units, or that doesn't matter to you?
Yeah, no. It's all about time. And Dre retired obviously, and obviously he's a devout family man and what have you. And so as involved as he can be with the time that he has, he's always been. There's been certain fighters that have asked him to come kind of help out in camps or give advice, and he'll call us and say, "Hey, I need you to send some product to XYZ. I need you to send some product to XYZ." So he's always been very good about that. He's always been, one of the best athletes. We've worked with a bunch, from David Ortiz to Isaiah Thomas to a bunch of guys, but Andre's been one of the best in terms of like actually.
Wait, Big Papi, David Ortiz?
Big Papi, yeah.
Shout out to my Dominican brethren.
Yeah, Big Papi. He was one of our ambassadors. He's an equity holder.
He is as well.
He's an equity holder.
Oh, nice.
Last 2 years. Yeah, last 2 years of his career. Papi on the baseball side.
That's got to be amazing to make a product that fits every sport. Because now I can see them using the baseball bat, or even trying to pitch with it, right?
Big time.
That's crazy.
They've done studies with weighted gloves on pitching. Increases throwing power, throwing speed, bat speed, even golf. We had a golf product that we never even took to market that ended up on the Golf Channel. And our patent attorney called me and said, "Hey, your gloves are on the Golf Channel." I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "Turn it on." So I turned it on, and they were on the Golf Channel. Martin Hall was talking about increasing your club head speed to hit the ball further. We hadn't even taken that one to market. We had just sent out samples to some golf trainers to get feedback. So it's amazing. Like when you start to think about all the markets, I thought about it just for basketball when I first came in. It was just basketball, and then
and that's because you played, right?
That's because I played basketball. Yeah,
tall as heck, man.
Yeah.
How old? 6'6"?
Man, 6'2.5".
What?
6'2".
Wow. I thought you were taller than me. You look tall.
No,
Got to be the suit.
6'2".
Yeah, he does look tall.
Right?
Yeah.
6'2". What the heck?
6'2".
Now, it's such a great product, and you've had so much success. Has this, I don't know, opened your appetite for different lanes and avenues of innovation for different products, not Powerhandz, just other companies, or are you just sticking with this because basketball is your passion and it's brought you this far?
Yeah, no, man, I'm an entrepreneur. I actually just came back in the CEO for Powerhandz maybe 30 days ago. So my wife and I co-founded it, and then she took over as a CEO since 2016. She was a CEO up until a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I've done a bunch of entrepreneurial ventures. We invested in a company called Oxfit, which is a fitness performance device, AI, technology, competes with Peloton, Tonal. I was an executive there for the last year and a half, and we got off to a great start. But I advise entrepreneurs, and I love the entrepreneurial space. So this won't be the last one, and we're actually going to be looking for a CEO for Powerhandz. We'll do a worldwide search for a CEO here in the next 6 months.
Oh wow!
And then I'll jump off, and again, like I said, I have ADHD when it comes to
So what's the next big project?
I don't know yet. I've got so many things I'm passionate about. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's starting the boxing league.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a high school boxing league.
We would definitely love that.
We have a foundation as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, called the Power to Give Foundation. So as you were talking about that, I was thinking, man, through our foundation, we could actually probably do some stuff, even if it's grassroots, just to get the ball moving.
Yeah, because we're losing gyms, man.
Yeah.
The cities don't have, I mean, obviously here, I probably sound bad saying that here because there's a gym in every corner in Vegas, but it's not like that on the East, man. I lived in the East Coast a lot of my life, and it's not like that on the East.
And even here, I bet you can't, off the top of my head, I don't know of a free gym for the kids.
Oh, free.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know about free. I don't think there's anything free in this life. That's what I'm saying. Once they took Boys and Girls Club, I don't know, where would you, I mean, I remember in my neighborhood, we had a church basketball club, but it was in the basement of the church. So
see, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're an 11 or 12-year-old in school, you might have to pay like your uniform fee, but the basketball coach ain't charging you no registration
Which is
fee
true.
to hoop for your school. Like,
which is true. And this is
you
why
paying for AAU.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is why getting it approved in schools is easy, because most gyms, basketball gyms, have enough space for a full court and more, right? So there can still be a section of that basketball for boxing.
Here's a problem, bro. You're going to get people involved that ain't got no business being involved. Like, there is
not only that, but the basketball tickets sell. Boxing.
There's basketball and football coaches, and basketball is different, right? But with football, like, they have no business coaching, and they're gonna get a player killed. You know what I'm saying? Right now,
yeah, but that's why the person that established it, you know, you got to set up a chain of command and, you know, everything.
Yeah.
You put the people in place. You can't just let the schools who don't know about boxing give you the trainers and officials.
Yeah.
It definitely have to be some certifications for sure, I think. You know, because especially high schools, I mean, to be the head football coach or basketball coach, typically you got to be a teacher.
And let me tell you, they're thinking wrong anyway, whoever they are, right? Because there's how many retired fighters that need a job? Let him go be the boxing coach at whatever elementary school. It's that simple versus getting someone that doesn't know about it to try and do something. It's about, you know, who's putting everybody in position.
They gotta want to do it. Like, it's not as simple as
who, the fighter?
Yeah, like.
But there's a lot. Look at Lonnie B. Lonnie B's training people. There's so many fighters that train people. It's kind of a, you know, it's kind of part of being a boxer. Like, most of them are personal trainers. If they don't already have a day job, their side job is personal training.
So you talking about you charging now per hour versus sending them to a public school that's already underfunded. Like, what you talking about is far from simple. Like, there was one school, bro, they closed their boxing program because they couldn't get another school in the city of Chicago, one of the top 4 biggest schools in this country. They couldn't get one other school.
I'm not telling you it's easy, brother. I'm not telling you it's easy. Nothing is easy, but it can happen.
Said simple. Said
it can happen.
That simple. Man,
yeah, I think in most inner cities, we can get some schools and some boxing programs approved in most inner cities. I'm shocked to hear you say that it didn't work in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that was a private school.
Oh, well, there goes your problem. It probably needed to be public.
Okay.
You know,
public
it's an inner city sport.
So it's an inner city sport. So a private school in the inner city, bro, there wasn't not one other school in the entire city with a program. Not one willing to get a program.
I get you, but private school means private money, means they're funded.
Right.
Means they can do the programs.
Right. And I'm telling you that closed because they thought, oh, we'll start it and we'll get other schools to want to do it. And nobody in the entire city.
Funding.
I know. That's why it won't be simple.
Funding.
And the crazy thing is, you think about all of like the boxing gyms, man. You got like Rumble Boxing and Title Boxing and Mayweather Boxing and this boxing, and they got all these like, you know, fitness boxing gyms. You would think that, I mean, it's not an expensive sport. It's not like baseball where you got to have a mitt, $100 mitt, $100 bat. I mean, you get some gloves, regular gloves.
That's cheap too, bro.
Nah, it's expensive though, because gloves is like $175.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Shit, I was paying, man, $250 $400 for a bat, and we're talking.
Oh wow, you paying $250 for a bat?
$400 for a bat.
Yeah, I mean,
we talking 10 years ago
too. Yeah, and gloves, cleats.
Yo,
in boxing, you get a pair of gloves and some wraps. I mean, you don't
some
need like
cheap-
the nicest
Some
shoes.
cheap shit though. You can get some like $80, $60 Amazon Everlast, gloves, but it ain't the best.
No, yeah,
You got to get like Everlast MX. Like the ones I got, them like $200 and something gloves. I got a discount with Everlast.
Well, I know the margins on those things, and the margins of those things are good. So here's what I would say. I would say that if this program started, there's a bunch of these boxing glove companies or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
They should be putting out they got some write-offs that they need too. They should be putting out and donating
No, Everlast,
20, 30 pair of gloves to each,
Everlast does that all day.
Yeah.
Believe me, they do that all day. So again, it just takes someone that cares and then wants to invest their time in it. I know he finds what I'm saying to sound crazy about it being easy, but I think when you know the players, you can make it come together.
I think it's I think something is doable, and I think something should be done. But man, think about it. You said Boys and Girls Club. How many of those, bro? The fucking who sells the popcorn and the cookies? The little kids, bro. That's the only thing keeping them alive is the fucking cookies.
No, that's huge though.
Nobody cares about the camping anymore. Nobody, like, who's going to learn to camp and tie knots? Bro, they teach those kids to sell cookies and popcorn.
I hear you. I can't talk about now, but I was a Boy Scout. I did the whole sleepover, and I had to learn my knots.
Man.
Had my little red utility knife.
You talking 40 years ago, brother.
I know. I'm just saying, I can't talk about now. But when I went, we was tying knots, man, cooking marshmallows.
I don't even hear about those things no more. It's hard, man. You live in a day and age where you have high school athletes that won't even play high school sports, and they'll just play AAU and go that route.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true.
I mean, look at your star.
That's true.
Look at LaMelo is a very unique case.
Yeah, he's a unique case for sure.
LaMelo's a very unique case, and it's crazy because I saw their whole upcoming, and I was like, it was the dad. It was always, but man.
And I think
he the
gets
fucking
a bad rap.
man.
He gets a bad rap, man.
He the man now.
Yeah.
He the man now because he did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
It's like he got on some people's nerves, but it's like, man, that dude is like a great dad.
And now he's chilling.
Yeah.
He ain't in front of the cameras or the TV. None of that. Now he's chilling, but he did it. He got his kids.
He got him where they need to be, and he was always there. Like, I mean, I think that should be applauded versus him getting on people's nerves. It's like we're talking about fatherless homes. You know what I mean? The amount that of fatherless homes there are, and you got a guy like that is super involved and
and just betting on his kids at the end of the day.
Believes.
Like, he's betting on them. He's telling them that they're the best.
Yep.
So he made it happen for sure.
It could be done though. I think the league could be done. I think
we sparked something in him.
I think it's confident it could be
done.
done.
Gonna have a new interview 1 year from now announcing it.
Have to start small. I think I have to start small and improve the model out. But I think, I think it teaches discipline too. It's like karate, right? I mean, how many parents are putting their kids in karate? Like, so to say, hey, the elementary has a boxing program and you teach respect and you teach accountability and things around it, I think there could be something good.
If you get enough ambassadors, enough Andre Wards to go to the schools, those kids will sign up. If they drop out 30 days later, that's something else. But you get a couple of ambassadors to show up to the school, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to start this league. Who wants to sign up? The right fighter at the right school going to get a couple dozen people to sign up, and that's all you need.
Man, it just made me think. A good friend of mine, Tristan Ellison, he's got a boxing group called Team Tef Boxing. Got some good young up and coming fighters. He's out of Dallas. He's got a nonprofit called Brodies and Bullies that he created on a young kid that was getting bullied, and he took this kid under his wing and taught him how to box and whatever else. And the kid just got like amazing confidence and lost weight, and it was an amazing story. And I would be botching it to try to tell it, but his nonprofit was around getting kids in elementary and junior high school to learn how to box for self-confidence and to be able to not get bullied and do those types of things. So Yeah, I'm inspired now, man.
Listen, I'm telling you, look,
Would it be?
you can bring me on as a consultant because
Done.
guys you need to get with are like Calvin Ford, whose gym is the same thing. He created his gym to get kids out of the inner city and from the inner city off the streets. Barry Hunter, he's got a boys and girls club type of compound out there. So these guys already are doing it. They would want to come on board. I know Stephen Edwards, he may not have the gym from the city, but his mindset is like that. And there's a lot of other, trainers that are training out of community centers or boys and girls clubs that those got to be the ones that say, yeah, because of where you at anyway. You know what I mean? And it'll help them get funding because all these gyms need equipment. I know in Elizabeth, where I used to train when I lived in Elizabeth, what's his name? But it's a rec center there. Like, there's just not enough of them. But yeah, there's certain people like Calvin and others with big names that are already doing it. And if we just brought everyone together and showed the world that there's multiple people doing it all over, it would get bigger. It just needs attention.
Yeah.
That's all that it needs. But yeah, I don't want to bore you forever. Look at Danny giving me the long face like this guy's so optimistic.
Yo, this guy, I swear to God, the way he talks, he'll save the world. Like,
he doesn't get it. This was a hobby for me. And look at where I'm at now.
Bro, it's just like,
you know what I'm saying? So he doesn't see my optimism because he didn't live it.
He thinks I'm pessimist. I'm just a realist.
But I think that's probably what makes the show so entertaining, though. I wasn't aware of the show until after we met in Acapulco. Now I listen all the time.
Oh, that's
But I
amazing.
think that balance, right? I think that balance is, I don't think it's pessimism per se, but I think the balance of you two, that works. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't work if it was otherwise. But I mean, I like the optimistic side. I like to lean optimistic, but I am a realist. I'm not going to go bite off. I'm not going to say I would try to do this program across the country immediately, but I'd test it out in an area and see if it works. Go to the Dallas Independent School District.
Robert Garcia. He did what he do in San Antonio. I mean, this is right up. Some of these big name trainers, this is right up their alley. Is just missing connecting them all so that it's universal. But Robert did something in San Antonio, and that's how he found 2 champions. He's got 2 champions now.
Let me tell you something. The National Football League, they own the day of the week. Like, Sunday belongs to them.
Pessimism.
No. Listen, because I just want to be realistic with you. The National Football League, they bought Sunday from the church. Like, they own, like, it's I think it's the church, then it's football. But look, they own Sunday, bro. They don't have nothing nationwide for football in high schools. Nothing. It's state to state to state. So you think it's so simple? Why don't we have a national champion in high school? Why don't we have for football, for basketball?
I mean, but we already do for boxing, though. We got nationals, so it's right up our alley. You're mixing a sport that doesn't have anything to do with us.
So that's what I'm saying. Let's invest in that. Let's not create a new lane like you think it's easy in the school system. If it's so easy, it would already exist. But
no,
it doesn't.
it's just we didn't exist. The people with the passion for it.
But I'm saying it doesn't exist in the sport that is 100 times bigger than boxing.
Brother, just because something is bigger doesn't mean that it's more important or better. We're a niche sport. We've still been around for how many years?
Nah, I hear you. I'm just saying, to me, I'm like, damn. So we need to, I mean, it's whatever.
Dan, are you familiar with pickleball?
With pickleball?
Pickleball, have you heard of it?
I've heard that. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of like professional athletes invest in it recently. Like, they just started a team out here. I don't know the name of it, but
it's going crazy. Like, and when I first heard of it, I was like, you got tennis, you got ping pong, you got like pickleball. Man, that thing is going nuts.
There you go.
Like nuts. You know, and it was like the thing is like, well, it never existed, but then you create it. You never know, man. Only time will tell. But
look, the teacher just super chat. He says schools are the key. We have a program, and another school in the Bronx has a program. We should build the model in New York City through the USA Boxing and expand. I'm telling you, it takes one, bruh. It takes one, and it may not be easy, but it can get done.
No, you just kept saying it'd be so simple, and I'm like, it wouldn't be
I think
simple.
for people, for specific people, if you know the players, you know the players. Again, if you can get in touch, if you got the funding and you can get in touch with Robert and the other coaches that I named, they need equipment. They need attention on their gyms. They want more publicity so they can get more kids into their gyms because ultimately that's what they're doing it for. I mean, again, I bring up Robert and he's being a hater. He could be telling you the story because both of Robert's champions are your favorite fighters. They came out of nowhere.
Who were the fighters? Who is
Bam Rodriguez and the brother. They came out of nowhere and they came based out that program that he created in San Antonio. Same thing I'm talking about. And now look at him. So he invested in a state he's not from, found 2 fighters where he's not from, took them under his wing, and now he making money off them. And his gym is still out there. His gym is still out there, But I don't know. I guess it's just because this is the only sport I love. Like I used to like basketball. Once that was a wrap, it was a wrap,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want to keep you any longer. Please give out any social media you want the world to, follow you on. And if you just want to direct them to the Powerhandz, that's okay too. And if I see you got some gloves there. I don't know if you wanted to show if there's anything different about these, or those are just the boxing gloves that Dre created along with yourself.
The initial boxing gloves were our striker gloves, and which we still have those, but the newer version is the Power Fit gloves, which are boxing and fitness, but they're fingerless. So that way they mimic more like wearing wraps. But again, they 1 pound in each glove, size large and up, and you can see the weight strategic place here. So these are iron sand pouches here on the thumb, on the back of the glove,
on top of the glove to mimic something more natural for the fighter.
Exactly. Yep. So powerhandz.com, Powerhandz with a Z. Social handles. My handle is Dr. Jones 32.
Doctor?
And,
wait, you're a doctor?
No, my middle initial is Ray. So it's gotten confused, but
okay.
I typically let it slide anyway. But no, not doctor. But yeah, powerhandz.com, Powerhandz on all the social sites. So yeah, follow us, give us feedback, and we're looking forward to continuing to grow in the sport.
Danny, a late question for you in the chat. Why don't we get more military boxing? Which is true, because look, we got Jamel Harry from there, even though that was Marines.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought, because, I served for 7 years, and I thought that serving, I would, hear things, and did for basketball. I did for basketball, and, never for boxing. I found out about military boxing through, like, another fighter. I think Sean Porter maybe, or Ken Porter. One of the two put me on, but I never, and it was the Army. It wasn't even the Air Force. I was Air Force. I didn't even know about it. Like I said, I think Sean or Ken put me onto it.
Again, you started a program out there. You never know. You probably could have kept that going even after. And like been the coach or ran the gym.
We kind of gave the country back to the terrorists. So
I don't mean in Afghan alone.
I'm just saying the gym we opened was out there.
I'm just saying it still was a program that
it was.
It doesn't have to die in Afghan.
They could have kept your name on the building and all that.
No, look, it's some actually. You know what's so funny? The guy that I started with out there, he's from. I don't know if he's from Houston originally, but that's where he was residing at the time. But he actually moved out here now.
To Vegas.
Yeah.
Did he start a gym?
I haven't spoke to him in a couple months. I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so, but yeah, he did move out here.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Don't forget to catch us tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
No.
What? Tomorrow's Saturday. That's right. He's out on a red eye.
Yeah, red eye to DC for the fight.
We were supposed to do another show from Hardin today with the AVN Awards. Is it awards?
Yes, the AVN
but
Awards.
We've gotten nothing.
Yeah, we were supposed to do a collab show with Alexis, Texas. I was looking forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah. But catch us on the next one. Ringwalk Danny, Nez GTO, the Boxing Voice, and Powerhandz in the building. We out.
Thank you.
Peace.
What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.